All right, folks, how you doing? Welcome back to the Mars Mystery. Disclaimer, as always, under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use, yada, yada, yada. So this is where it starts getting good. Hidden Things, Disinformation, Part 1. So Hancock points out that Orson Welles' broadcast of The War of the Worlds in 1938 was so realistic that many believed it to be a genuine Martian invasion. Quote, generally speaking, government agencies find it preferable to reinforce already held beliefs than to introduce new ones, writes Hancock. He compares how easily America was duped into believing in a Martian invasion to how easily NASA have obfuscated whatever it is they have learned about the possibility of life on Mars. Hancock is clearly wary of NASA when it comes to how outwardly blasé they have been concerning Cydonia. He is clearly very cynical and distrustful of NASA. Well, of course he is, he's an intelligent man, and believes that they know far more than they are letting on. Quote, like other big state bureaucracies, NASA has lied and will lie again, writes Hancock. It has lied about Cydonia ever since the face on Mars was first discovered. Duty to withhold. So, NASA is the disturbed child of two dysfunctional parents, paranoia and war, Hancock writes. Couldn't have put it any better, pointing out that NASA was born at the height of the Cold War in 1958, and that space exploration and the national defense policy were very much intertwined at the time, and to some extent they still are. Hancock makes the point that although NASA is publicly funded, it is beholden to the government, not to the people. The Brookings Report. NASA scientists cannot know for sure, on present evidence, whether or not the structures of Cydonia are natural or artificial, writes Hancock. He states that a Brookings Institute report from 1960 may present a clue, as the report urges NASA to control any evidence it discovers concerning extraterrestrial life, quote, for reasons of public security. Yeah, that old chestnut. It recommends that NASA should think very carefully about how it presents information to the public, under what circumstances, and why. I mean, the public are only funding NASA. Why would you tell the public anything, even though all the money comes from them? Why would you tell the public anything? I mean, did Sir Humphrey write this? The report includes a subsection, Implications of a Discovery of Extraterrestrial Life. Astronomers and cosmologists think it is highly probable that intelligent life exists out there or once did and may have left artifacts on the Moon, Mars, and or Venus. The report also suggests that evidence of extraterrestrial life could have, quote, severe effects on political leadership, causing the public to question entrenched elites. Yeah. It's the little green men that are going to cause that, right enough. So, UFO Hancock states that a policy of secrecy surrounding alien artifacts predates the formation of NASA, and that the recommendations of the Brookings report only reflects previous US government policy. What do you mean, like ever since like 1920, for example? Hancock also points out that conspiracy theorists believe that policies stemmed from a particularly famous or infamous event in 1947, well known in the UFO community. So there you go. And a lot of what Hancock is saying here has been said by Hoagland only about 2 years before or 4 years before, depending on which interview you were listening to, with Art Bell on Coast to Coast AM. Check those out, by the way. Those little sound bites, how I put them down into like little manageable sections, like 30 seconds to 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes, in some cases. I don't think any actually go over 3 minutes. A lot of the points that Hoagland is making with Art Bell are reflected exactly by Hancock. And like I said, they came out at about the same time, almost exactly the same time, actually. The two radio interviews I put up on the channel so far were in 1994 and 1996. There's still the one from 1995 to get put up. I'm working on that right now, but I want to, catch up on Hancock before I go back to Hoagland. But you will find that they're saying the same or very, very similar points. And it's funny that because again, the Mars Mystery was written in 1997, published I think in 1998. So this is all at the same period of time, the mid 1990s to the late 1990s. Hancock and Hoagland are aligned. They are saying pretty much the same things. There's very, very little differences. The largest differences is in how they're saying it, not what they're saying. And even then, there's not much variation. They're actually saying much the same. In fact, Hancock is more articulate because he's more of the journalist and all this, and Hoagland's more of the broadcaster. So personality-wise, they're not the same, but what they're saying very largely is. Very interesting indeed. And what's most interesting is it's this at the same time period, 1994 to 96 with Hoagland, 1997 to 98 with Hancock. I mean, you know, two very different men, similar backgrounds, but not the same, you know, coming to the same conclusions about the same agency, about the same topic. Cydonia, first and foremost. But I would also say Elysium as well. Don't forget about Elysium. That's also very important because the pyramids are also there. But Cydonia is the one that has all the light on it, particularly the face, you know. Um, Very interesting stuff. And this is, like I say, where it starts to get good. This is where, Hancock is taking off the gloves. He's throwing the Hancock haymakers. One after the other from here on in. I love these videos. I love making the videos about this sec. When I was writing the slides, the PowerPoints, when I was editing them at the time and summarizing what Hancock was saying, I thought this is the best part of the book. This is the bit. This is where, like I say, we're getting the Hancock haymakers. One after the other. Thanks for watching.